Hey, so having some set design, um, artificially induced um, anger, getting pain in my neck, had my testicles attacked like Kevin Christian talks about. Um, EMF perps moved in as roommates, faking people with the objective of getting me moved yet again. Uh, Emergency rooms deep captured. NLP every 15 to 20 seconds. My cell phone may have been emulated. I reinstalled it and have an Obama phone to get through unlimited federal budgets and blue beam technology and EMF perps out of the 5 million in the electric core and through the Department of Homeland Security and all these apparatuses, synthetic telepathy. Folks, 5,000 have come at me over 15 years. Columbia Care mental health got deep captured in like 2016. Didn't want folks to know about what was really going on. Tualatin, perps invaded. I almost died that time. That's not gonna happen again. And then in this place, I think they may have taken over Sequoia Mental Health after the year that I've been here. Redmond, similar behavior, triggering MK Ultra super soldiers. Neurolinguistic programming every 15 to 20 seconds is what makes me want to die sometimes, but it's also used for trauma-based mind control behavior, like getting me to sound like a racist when I'm the one being exterminated by the Nazis. And somehow they're able to do that at speed of thought with unlimited federal budgets. No scruples, no ethics, no morals, no value, and that's been my life as a TI, enduring what I thought was only mental illness for most of my torturous years. No, these are real people in other locations, as Kevin describes. They're not fucking gods, they're not fairies, they're not fucking demons, they're mind control addicts who are throwing out a monitor consciousness. I'm a brilliant and tortured TI. I'm happy about the opportunity after a year to get going. It's a good month to travel if I need to. I haven't been able to really secure my Obama phone as much as maybe I would have wanted, and Facebook is challenging for me right now with the this gang trying to disable my documenting what they do there. So I'm up against unlimited federal dollars. No scruples, no morals, no ethics, human traffickers. These are the same people that get involved in like the Monarch program and like human traffic, mind control, sex slave kids. And my country betrayed me 15 years ago and has never stopped rubbing it in. Like the Intel outfits, COINTELPRO, Fusion Center, Electric Core, Infraguard. It's been called things like, Gladio 2, NATO stay behind forces, what happened in Norway. coupled with the synthetic telepathy and all the finance, all the incentive is on the perpetrator side, right up to the Department of Homeland Security. If they wanted a fucking Learjet, they would just blue beam it. They wouldn't have to bring in a real one. But they would fly it into Hillsboro just to fuck with me. But they would just blue beam it. They would make a fake one. It would look like a Learjet. Shit, they did that to a truck like the other day. And I'm getting shuffled out homeless. They try not to make martyrs. It's an important operative outcome for keeping it clean for the history books, so that Americans can grow up in 50, 75 years and not know that, hide the Nazi story about the EMF and the time before the internet when you can think for yourself. I'm okay with the move though. It's nice weather. I can get out. Maybe if I can secure my communications, maybe go see another TI. Perps fucking replacing people around me, moving into places I live, because the Central Command under the Bush administration put a hit out on me and my family. Gosh, you should hear John Lear talk about the Nazis in America, particularly in outfits like NASA. Maybe that's phased out a little bit, maybe more of his generation or whatnot. Oh, they hide him in the EMF on the headsets. Hit me with remote torture, so I've got like a pain in my chest right there. Using a black man's voice in the corner because he's really a racist and hates black men. Blaming in a misdirect, I don't even have the precise warfare language, but they've leveled 5,000 people at me, flesh and blood, EMF, perp, or otherwise, trying to Zugstrig suicide a TI out here on the West Coast. 5,000 of 5 million beast system operatives out of the 347 million of us in America, and it's a shit show, nightmare across the country, or countries and other world, or across the seas and other worlds. So life is very difficult for a TI. This criminal surveillance problem is more than a public health issue. It's more than a political issue. It's not spiritual. This is synthetic telepathy. No monitor is God. No matter how much they sit around and try to mimic me for their stupid fucking broadcast. Nobody saves you. There's no false savior horseshit in psychological operations. If there's life after death, you need to learn how to leave the solar system. Otherwise, it's recycled through the moon. The adults know that. I'm Buddhist because it helped me endure the tortures of the deep state and human capital agenda. I'm usually a really nice guy. For many of the years when I was an unaware TI, I thought it was only mental illness. I was so polite to my fellow Portlanders, going, trying to get survival jobs and just enduring what I thought was like mental illness, psychosis, or schizophrenia. No. It's a real person from his own little place in Howard Circle. And 5,000 have tried to kill me. They want to blame it on one that's a hanger-on. And then all the ops that have come out here. The mean mugs that I have gotten since like Tualatin. I'm going to practice my Buddhist mindful presence of mind and just give you I can get pretty animated myself and give you some deterrence from maybe mean mugging me. And then with this technology, like somebody walking down the street, it could be made to look like they're giving me a mean mug and not. So, and it's fully allowed. I have no Constitution, no Bill of Rights, nothing. I'm a slave. Mr. McAfee has a better freedom box than I do. Yeah, so my perps and problem reaction solution thinking of who do you want to take the hit for this in a patsy system when they're faking voices of people they really aren't. My perps are Nazis. They are. And they have the tech advantage and they're really good at this espionage shit and ruining people's lives and taking these jobs. And it's paramilitary, it's extrajudicial, it's MK Ultra, it's Mockingbird, it's throwing monarch slaves at people, it's home break-ins, it's broadcasting, it's EMF terrorism, it's satellite torture, it's community slander, it's gang stalkings designed to never get into court or be prosecutable. They've gone over the top of government. Using kids' voices, black men, black women. Recently, the perps trying to suicide me and get me homeless one. Like, you to blame black women or kids or black dudes or Mexicans or like everybody but themselves. Central Command, the community-based agent overseeing this area. The attaboy system, the cover-ups. So many cover-ups. It doesn't matter if they cover any of this shit up. I lost my Constitution and Bill of Rights 15 years ago. So many cover-ups. So, I'm 40. I'll be happy to make it to 60 or 70. I'll be happy to get a rental subsidy and keep it in my free time, my spare time. I've done things like invent the newspaper comment section. That's me as a mind control slave. And I fear that it's been used to gather more evidence to hurt people with these synthetic telepathy cults that were there before I started thinking about something like that. I've helped confirm and corroborate non-reincarnation instructions. I've revealed so much stuff over the last 3 years. I've forgotten all about it. Not all about it, but war crimes, crimes against creation, crimes against humanity, and a lot of other stuff. Doesn't matter. McAfee, who was, a billionaire for a while, working on antivirus software, like, he's now poor and being chased all over the globe, too. The broadcast. They show up as people that they want to take the blowback for their behavior. Like this gang that has been perping me for years now, in street theater that I was able to recall because I can kind of tell now, a little bit better who's an EMF perp or who's not. The focus on blowback and contrived plans from like the ICE functions of the alphabet soup, all this stuff. Anyways, I'll skip over it. John Lear warned about the fake people problem in a video many years before it was used on me. There was a possibly EMF perp gang in the streets of Bellingham that warned me to. It may sound benign or not as wickedly, wildly, intensely, pervasively, and decisively destructive as it really, really, really is. But being able to fake human form with blue beam technology, this headgear, and appear somebody else in another location, or a fully AI faked person altogether, it's so destroyed like the quality of life perceived value of human existence for me as an aware TI. Like, this fucking guy perping me here, allowed to do it on federal payroll, can simulate some like hot middle-aged women that aren't really real around the corner of my nut house to go on and like have a fake conversation about Mr. Sweet Tea, who's a voice that I use, and stuff like that. It's because that really happened. They weren't real people, and they were used as blue beam holographic technology for this perp, among other community destroying things. But then again, I'm not law enforcement, I'm not the FBI, I'm not equipped with the full force of the federal government pulling the rug out under a political dissident and his family for 15 years now for me. Every day, every 15 to 20 seconds, I'm tortured. And I'm going to see what I'm going to do about a little bit of traveling, and then back to some housing in Hillsborough. This is an overreach of federal policing powers that never should have been acted, and they have the electromagnetic frequency to hide in, and the broadcasting is an international problem, and it's a tech manifestation change in the human condition that has more quality life destruction power than a volcano going off. Villages leveled with lava have had less suffering. Mr. Kevin Christian in Atlanta, who does a good job explaining some really complicated shit for other TI, has been shot. It's worse than getting shot. He's had both. Can compare. In few words, to mislead and just humiliate even more the suffering. All of the horror show that I've been through in synthetic telepathy for 15 years, losing my constitution, my Bill of Rights, would be summed up by a neurolinguistic perp community-based agent EMF manifestation of somebody who needs to stay in their own fucking basement. They would say, oh, that's just being annoyed. I have no constitution. I have no Bill of Rights. Technically, I'm an enemy of the state, along with all the grandmas, 70, 80-year-old women being covertly exterminated under Project Phoenix and their assets extracted from them, and maybe their medications too, while these perps sit around and fuck their mind and body. And we can't help ourselves. We can't even organize as TIs that well, let alone stop this behavior, because they feel like they can't get caught and there are no repercussions, and they can't die in front of us on those headsets. They can get away with murder, blame it on somebody else. Like, another thing is this perp gang that's been torturing me really wants to blame Jews, black people, Hispanics, and all this other stuff. They're Nazis from the Fusion Titan Center. Whoever contractor monitor is still out on me. NLP every 15 to 20 seconds. That hasn't changed much in 15 years. Getting paid $35 an hour. I've done more in my life than like every single one of them and their family in my spare time. Positive good for other people. And I'm the one getting exterminated. And that's the truth.